Hi folks, how you doing? Hope everyone's well and looking forward to hopefully a lovely weekend. You never know though, we do live in the UK. So, as per my first ever YouTube post, here is the video I promised, a Jeff Beck kind of concepts video. So a little disclaimer, as ever, I can't play anything like Jeff Beck. I'm nowhere near as good as him, but here are some of the things that I've taken from Jeff and put into my playing, so I hope you like them. I mean, this is a bit of a labour of love for me, this video, because Jeff Beck's certainly one of my top 3 favourite guitarists. I absolutely love him. And I've been listening to Jeff, I think, since I was probably born. I think my dad used to play a lot of Jeff Beck stuff. So, yeah, I'm a massive, massive Jeff Beck fan. I mean, some of the things I love about Jeff Beck are he's such an exciting guitarist. You never know if he's going to sort of reach notes or whether he's going to fall off a cliff, which I think is great. You know, he just goes for it. He's very brave. And the other thing I really like about Jeff Beck is he seems to keep improving. He never really sort of has gone stale. You know, he just gets better and better and better and better, which is quite commendable, really. So, yes, that's a couple of things. Well, two of many things that I really like about Jeff Beck. And actually, before filming this video, I found out it was his birthday today. So, happy birthday, Jeff! Okay, so on with the concepts. So the first thing we've got to talk about when it comes to Jeff Beck, obviously, is the whammy bar. He kind of popularised the whammy bar in many ways, and he sort of did it differently to the likes of Eddie Van Halen, Steve Vai, etc. He kind of made it into like a sliding kind of sound. So here's some of the things that I'm talking about. So that kind of thing. So, you know, with a bit of a overdrive on it, it sounds like it's a real slide guitar and you can do lots of cool things with it. So here's the concept. So basically what I think Jeff does quite a lot is he'll rake down a chord, and this is a G major up from this position, and he'll rake down a chord, and when he gets to the D note here, he'll slide into it. And he's just dipping the bar ever so slightly, and letting it come back up again. On that one, he dips the bar, then hammers on. So for that particular lick, and then I'm hitting the minor third on the way down, but dipping it, and then hitting the root note. That's very much a Jeff Beck phrase, that. That, for example, there's that lick there. So you're basically sort of dipping the notes at certain points. So on that one you're going dip, hammer, slight dip, dip again. You can sort of hear when the dips are coming. So I'm sort of going between the major and minor third there. So, you know, it's up to you what sort of thing you do with that. Another thing that he does, though, which is quite cool, is he does this kind of, it's quite hard with this particular trem, but he sort of pulls it and lets it flip out of his hand. You know, that's something that he does. So what he's doing is he'll pick, hammer, and then just pull the bar up a touch. So you need to have your tremolo set floating to achieve this, or have a Floyd Rose. I mean, this is something that Steve Vai has also done, obviously, over the years. And I mean, Steve Vai is another great tremolo arm player, but I think that the difference between Steve Vai and Jeff Beck is that when I listen to them both play, I think, well, Jeff Beck, he's kind of telling a story, but he's telling it in the moment, and you're not sure whether he's going to make the notes or say the right words, if you like, but more often than not, he does. And it's really exciting, and it's, you know, it's sort of kind of on the edge. But with Steve Vai, his playing is more, for me, a little bit more, it's written out and it's perfectly played and it's perfectly delivered to you. So he's telling a story that's already been written, and he's delivering it in the Queen's English, if you like. You know, he's delivering it perfectly to you, and both are great skills, and both of those guys are two of my favourite players. So, but that's the difference, you know, that's the difference in approach. But yeah, the whammy bar technique. Give that a try. So you're sort of dipping on certain notes. Yeah, sounds pretty cool. Sounds pretty cool, that. Okay, so the next thing I'd like to talk about is something that I'm going to call the Jeff Beck scale. Now, I've heard this called many different things. I've heard it called, well, I suppose most people would call it the Mixolydian scale, but he doesn't approach it in a Mixolydian kind of way, this scale. I've heard so called it like an Indian scale. I've also heard it be called dominant pentatonic scale, and all those things are correct, really. But I'm just going to call it the Jeff Beck scale because it's easier for me to think of it like that. So I think around the time of the Guitar Shop album, he started doing this scale, and basically it's this. So he was often using pentatonic quite a lot in his sort of earlier albums, which is sounds great. I think probably most of us will know the pentatonic. But then what he started to do was started to change some notes. So he took the minor third and made it a standard third. So you could do that here. So that's G, B, D. And then he put in the seventh, the F. Then back to the first, the G. The third again with the B. The fifth with the D. The F again. G. And then B at the top. So this is what the scale sounded like. Yeah, and that was very Jeff Beck. And you started to hear sort of like this scale, this new sound come out, and you heard it the intro jam there. That's definitely where the freeway jam sort of sound came from. You know, that was definitely came from this scale, and the reason I don't think he used it really like a Mixolydian scale, which is essentially what it is really, is you could tell he was using it alongside the pentatonic. It was almost like he had no idea that he was using Mixolydian whatsoever, which he probably didn't actually, and he just substituted a few notes from the pentatonic scale and put them into this Jeff Beck scale, which is pretty cool. And what I liked about this scale is when it went to pentatonic, the pentatonic sounded really aggressive and really cool. I always like that. I like it when things go from Mixolydian sounding to the pentatonic scale. So here's the scale again. So you can go. So you can start that from the F to get the full sort of range. Yeah, and that's when you started hearing stuff like, oh, sorry. And you could sort of hear that, and he's playing a lot more at the top here actually. And they were going to like, you know, this kind of stuff. I mean, I'm using the Mixolydian there because in my playing I'm sort of much more sort of using it as a Mixolydian sort of thing really, but in Jeff's playing he was using it sort of almost limiting himself really. So let's have a listen to a couple of those techniques over a loop. Here we go. Here's the scale. made sense. I mean, it wasn't the best playing in the world, but you know, I think you're sort of getting an idea of the scale there and how it sounds. And when it goes to like a pentatonic, it kind of sounds really cool, you know. It sounds quite entertaining, I think. Okay, entertaining, strange word for it, but you know, it's here, it's Friday night at 9:20, you know, that's all I've got for you really. Okay, so I think that's it on Beck techniques. You've got the tremolo arm and you've got the Jeff Beck scale, which is like kind of the Mixolydian scale, or the pentatonic scale with notes missed out. That's a couple of ways of looking at it. Hope that's been of some use to you guys. Okay, in other news, the competition is getting closer and I'm seeing a lot of entries on Facebook, which is all great and good. But we need them on YouTube or they won't get judged, I'm afraid, guys. Not that we're really judging them, or they won't get viewed is probably a better way of putting it. So we need these video entries on YouTube because there's been some cool ones on Facebook and really cool ones actually. But you need to get them on YouTube as soon as possible if you want to win the Providence Flame Drive. Okay, my final piece of news actually. I've got to show you guys this because it's just come back today. It's another guitar. This is the guitar I got when I was 21 or 18, one of the two. I think it was 21 or 18. Yeah, it was one of them definitely. So it's my Ibanez Gem, but it's come back with a repaint, a new tremolo arm put on it, and it plays and feels amazing. So this was done by Mark at Hilditch Guitars, and I'm going to do a video next week using this guitar on Hank Marvin. So stay tuned for that, guys. Hope to hear from you soon. See you later.